value.
Welcome to the Prisoner2Painter Podcast, stories of inspiration, where we talk about mental health, addiction, religion, becoming a business owner and self-sufficient, for what, when, where, and why. Join us and we can be your local hope dealer.
Inspiration and dedication. I came a long way from sleeping in them pages. I got my life back. I feel amazing. Life's a book, don't get stuck on sad pages. Rainy days with no money. Hard work leads to days that are sunny. Looking back, it was all needed. The problems, the pain, the trauma, the grieving. You are now tuned in to the Prisoner2Painter. Prisoner2Painter. Hard work, dedication. Rainy days, inspiration. Prisoner2Painter.
And now, a word from your local hope dealer.
Welcome to the Prisoner2Painter Podcast. I'm Nathan McDermott.
And I'm Katie McDermott.
And today joining us is Jan Maino.
Hello. Hello.
Thank you for coming on. Thank you for having the courage to tell your story.
Thank you.
Of course. I have yet to find a good way to transition into the first question. So that is me transitioning. What was your...
That's the transition. We'll figure that.
Yeah, we'll get that eventually. What was your family dynamic like growing up?
Oh, wow. My mom is Vietnamese,
Okay.
and my dad met her when he was volunteering actually in Vietnam and brought her home. And he brought with her his daughter, his stepdaughter, my half sister.
Okay.
And then I have a younger sister. So I'm a middle child of two sisters. One of them is fully Vietnamese, and then my other sister is like me, half and half.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I've asked this question to tons of guests. We'll work on your childhood, but
Yeah.
something just stuck out.
Yeah.
I've asked this question to a lot of guests of color, but they are Black. I guess I never wrapped my mind around other cultures.
Yeah.
Did you ever experience any
stigma or not so welcoming people?
Yeah, I have actually. And recently I have thought about it a lot because, I don't even know how to start. Like, there's so many dynamics to why this comes up, but I'm a social worker. And when I was in college, there was this question about when did you know you were different?
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really know I was different until it was, I was in upper elementary and we were walking home from school. My little sister and I lived about 6 blocks I went to Northwest actually.
Oh, okay.
So we were walking home from Parnell Elementary, and this young man walked up behind us, and he had been getting close and kind of harassing us on other days. But that particular day, he started kicking me. And I fell on the ground and he kept kicking me, and he said, "You're a Cambodian refugee and you need to get on your boat and go home."
Jeez.
And I had no idea what he was talking about because I didn't know I was different until that experience. And I'm so happy that I'm telling this story and not crying because I usually cry. But that's the worst that it's ever been. And I had to talk to my mom, like, why is he saying this? What does this mean? And certainly now, as I reflect back on all my years of social work, this was his kitchen table talk.
Yeah.
Like this young kid that's in 6th grade, 5th, 6th grade, I'm pretty sure he would not know what a Cambodian refugee was unless someone at home was talking about it. And so that is the point at which I knew I was different. And also experienced my first attack on my race. And I don't really have many that were as obvious and harmful as that one, but actually during COVID, when there were a lot of people blaming that virus on China, there were times when people would kind of insinuate, and I guess maybe I was taking it personally, whether they wanted me to or not. So
No, it just dawned on me that I feel like I have to have just a certain class or certain type of person, and that's not right. So,
I appreciate that. I appreciate the honesty. That's how we learn, is just being able to have honest conversations. And you're also coming from a place of curiosity. And that's very different than
like malice.
Yes, exactly. So I appreciate that.
Oh, of course. I appreciate this. I know I say this to everybody, but I'm going to smile a lot this episode. I want you to know it is authentic. Like, I love what we do.
Yeah.
So,
that's funny. I'm sorry.
It's your time.
I was just doing a photo shoot and for headshots for my campaign. And the guy is like, can you smile less? And I'm like, I will try. I really like to smile. And I was trying not. He's like, just forget it. You just smile. Because I like to smile too. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a weird request.
I know. He's like, do you want a strong, serious picture? And I'm like, I don't know how to do it without smiling. So, and that is authentic for me too.
Well, and that's great. That'll get people to, in my opinion, that'll get people to vote. But
there's a thing. There is a thing. Yes, I get it. There is a thing.
Great. Who was the most influential person in your life growing up?
I'm trying to think, and I knew this question was coming. It's my dad.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's totally my dad.
Awesome.
He was such a generous, giving person, always wanting people to learn.
We have tissues.
Yes, we do.
There's wider. See what I mean about the size?
Yeah, going back to that part.
Yeah, thank you. This is authentic too, but just a good human.
Awesome. I'm going to go just a bit further because we always relate, never compare. I don't know a bunch about my grandpa after he passed, and now I can never learn. That's why we do this. I'm preserving history or trying to. Right. Is there anything from because you said your dad came over from Vietnam? Is there?
Her dad went to Vietnam.
Yeah.
Went to Vietnam. Okay. Is there anything? Is there one piece of advice that he gave you that you will never forget, or is there something that you can teach us more about him?
Well, there's some irony here.
Okay.
He worked at the prison.
Okay.
Yeah, and he worked there for a long time. He retired from the prison. He was a counselor, and just always accepting people.
Awesome.
And there's always a story. So just where they're at, that's you just be there with them.
Is he some of the reason why you got into social work?
I was just gonna ask that.
Yeah, totally.
Awesome.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah, just we have this way of just being present and talking and engaging people and always wanting to leave the situation better.
Yes.
Whatever experiences, did we learn something? What are we taking away from it? And I feel like that was my dad. Whether he was at work or telling stories or visiting a friend, I would watch him with his friends, and he was always laughing and learning and accepting them where they were at. And they came from all walks of life. He just loved it. He just loved life, and I appreciate that. Yeah.
Well, I feel like it would be wrong not to know. What is his name?
Oh, Richard.
Richard.
Richard
Awesome.
Thrams.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Great.
What was it like growing up in a blended culture family? I think that'd be interesting. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that young man I was referencing in our neighborhood, again, I didn't know it was weird to have a duck in your backyard and eat the duck eggs. Mm-hmm. It's not typical. So I think that maybe they saw that. They saw my mom, who is Vietnamese. So I think definitely the easy part to say is our food. What we ate for dinner was very different. And we weren't a wealthy family by any means. And so my mom figured things out. Here, we always had rice. I think, we typically think of Americans eating potatoes, but our starch was rice. And she would cook just ground hamburger, and we'd eat hamburger on the rice. And that was, in a vegetable. We also always ate fresh vegetables. And when I met my husband and they were eating canned vegetables, I'm like, this is disgusting. I was just so used to fresh vegetables, and if they were canned, it was from my grandma's farm.
Yeah.
And so canned carrots from my grandma's farm did not taste like Del Monte.
Yeah.
So I think easily the food was very different. And there were lots of Vietnamese foods, and we would get together with other Vietnamese families and eat authentic food. My mom always made things from scratch. And here's another instance when I knew I was different. She would make her own salami. And I know. But here's where I knew I was different. I'd take my lunch to school and you'd put it under your desk and everybody's like, what's that smell? And I'm like, oh, it's my homemade salami. So yeah, my mom cooked everything from scratch. Everything was made from scratch. And even if it wasn't fancy, it was made from scratch. And other than that, just looking different. I think maybe those were the two obvious things. A lot of people don't, when they look at me, they're not sure. There may be something there might not be something there. But when I'm with my mom, it's clear that I'm Asian. So yeah, I think those were the two primary things. We went to a Catholic church, so that's pretty mainstream. Yeah, and she did speak Vietnamese. She told me that because everyone asked, do you speak Vietnamese? Like when I was born and when I was young, I did speak Vietnamese. And she said when I started public school, I started answering her in English. Like she would speak to me, and then slowly she kind of just gave up on trying to force it. And I don't have it. And people are like, it's in your brain somewhere. I'm like, I have buried that because I can't recall any of it. So yeah, so there was the language, when we were young,
Right.
Mostly the food.
I think food brings people together though.
Yeah.
Like I really, breaking bread with somebody is very special.
It's a priceless opportunity to be with people.
Thank you for saying that, it's coming from a place of curiosity.
Yeah.
I watched the Sean Ryan show, and a lot of his guests say, God, I said more than what I wanted to say because I felt comfortable in this. And that. I'm trying to give the guests a place that we can talk about stuff like this and to educate others. Yeah. And thank you for
sometimes
sharing
even us,
educate
us as well.
Yeah.
So seriously,
that's the thing too with social work. We can never know someone's whole story, and if people are willing to sit down and have a conversation, we have an opportunity to become friends and to learn and be better when we separate. So yeah.
Before we move on to school, favorite childhood memory?
I love my little sister. So my older sister that came from Vietnam is 6 years older. So she kind of was like, that's enough years where you're kind of just in a separate space in your life. So my little sister and I, she's 3 years younger. I loved I just remember hanging out together in the basement and playing or watching shows together, decorating for Christmas, just my little sister and I. Yeah. Yeah.
I have to ask, Christmas isn't a huge Vietnamese tradition.
Correct.
How did that come about? How did that come about?
I think probably my mom assimilated pretty quickly. She came home with my dad and lived in a very rural area. Sunfield, Michigan is where my dad is from, and they had a farm, and I think she just assimilated really quickly. I know she was blown away. I remember her telling a story when they first landed. In Vietnam, there was not credit. You didn't have anything unless you could pay cash for it. And then also grocery stores weren't a thing for her either. In Vietnam, it's almost cheaper to go out to eat because you don't have refrigeration in your you have a couple of rooms and that's it. And so you go down to the street, you get a bowl of soup and, whatever. And so when she came here, Dad stopped at a grocery store. She was like, whoa, this is so much food in one place. And it's, you can preserve it by putting it in the fridge or, we put so many preservatives in our food anyway that it's shelf stable for a long time. And the other thing he did on the way home is bought a car. And she's like, how are we buying a car? Yeah, and so they did. But I forget what your question was. Why did I go there?
Because of Christmas.
Christmas. Yeah, so I think she just assimilated really quickly. She got into the culture. They celebrated. And honestly, when you are the odd man out, you're going to try and fit in. So I've left my parents behind. I've left my sister. I'm with this guy. And I need to fit in. This is what they do. I'm going to do it too. So
it makes sense.
Yes.
That kind of makes my heart sad.
Totally.
Yeah. Because it's being yourself.
Yes.
And there's something beautiful with anybody's culture because they're all beautiful in their own way, and they all have different things about them that are fabulous.
Yeah.
I'm a foodie, so I appreciate all sorts of food.
Me too.
I appreciate all sorts of people. So this just makes me a little sad.
Yeah, I know.
It does. Yeah, my like I said, always relating. My grandma came over from Poland, so I didn't know her on a mother-daughter basis, but she's my grandma, and it's just she's from Poland. Years later, it's like she can still hardly speak English. And,
but I think. What did she find her Polish community?
Yeah, so I was young, but she always had friends, so I'm guessing they were Polish community.
And it was my mom had the hardest time finding a Vietnamese community to connect with. In fact, she had to go through the church who found a church in Lansing that had a Vietnamese family. And so there were about 5 families that we got together with, but they did not even live here. Wow. So I get it. Yeah, I get it.
And then unfortunately, I have to ask on the other side, what is your least favorite childhood memory?
Yeah. Yeah, I already shared it.
Okay.
It's that time that we got attacked. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then before schooling,
Cereal.
yes. What's your favorite cereal growing up?
Growing up, probably Captain Crunch.
I ask every person who says this, do you not like the roof of your mouth?
I know. Just like when you eat toast.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's so pointy. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the peanut butter one. I do like the berries ones,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it just hurts.
Yeah.
So bad.
Yeah. There is something. Yeah, you're right. It does leave a mark. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I guess before I move on, is there anything from your childhood that when I asked you to come on that you wanted to share and maybe I didn't touch base on?
From my childhood, I don't think so.
Okay.
Oh, there was more memories with my sister.
Mhm.
We used to, I loved winter and building snow forts,
Oh.
or like in the summer, we lived near the Grand River
Okay.
over in the Northwest area, and just like dressing up like we were in the army and marching down the street and building forts in the woods.
Nice.
Yeah.
I say we go in order and then we never
Yeah.
do because good questions arise. So
Yeah.
you went to Northeast or Northwest.
Mhm.
What made you decide to get on the board of East Jackson?
Oh, yeah. That's easy. I think every school board member has an agenda, something. And I went to Northwest, graduated from Northwest. I met my husband. He lived in Michigan Center, but he went to Lumen.
Okay.
And we kind of ended up in the middle. So you you choose a school board where you live.
Yeah.
And my son was about to enter kindergarten, and they didn't have all day kindergarten, and I really felt like he would benefit from being in school all day long. And so I started attending school board meetings.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting at that first meeting I went to, and the board, I've served on many nonprofit boards.
Mhm.
Generally there isn't a public in your board meeting, and but people sit at the table and they talk. But this is the first time where you've got kind of like this gallery, you sit in the gallery and only the board is talking. And I'm like on the edge of my chair, and I want to say something, and I'm like, I don't even know if we're allowed to say anything in this meeting. And so the board president, he's like, ma'am, you look like you have something to say. Do you want to say something? And I'm like, I do. And I asked them if they would consider full day kindergarten. And then after that meeting, I learned the process. Like, you come in early, you fill out a card, you let them know you want to speak, and all of that. But I didn't know that was the process. So that was what introduced me to East Jackson. And then later, when there was a school board opening, that same board president, he reached out to me and said, you seem like someone that's active in our community. We always like parents that are engaged.
Yeah.
And you also are a local leader. And so would you consider? And I said no. And then I came around, and so
I didn't expect that.
I feel like I might say no a lot, and then I think about it and change my mind. So yeah. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Going to Northwest, did you have a favorite teacher and did you have a favorite subject?
I had a lot of great teachers. The ones that stand out for me were high school.
Yep.
And there was a team. It was Mr. Seal and Mrs. Eichel, and they team taught like humanities, and they just brought it to life in a very fun and interesting way. And so I really enjoyed them. And then Mr. Darling was my civics teacher, government, and also just really making what he was teaching us connect to real life. Because I feel like if we don't make it make sense to kids, like why they need to know something, they're like, I don't need this information.
Yeah.
So it's hard. But those three really, I felt like, and they were just lively and friendly, and they laughed with us and enjoyed our company and were real, and we learned a lot from them. Yeah.
And teachers like that will stick with you forever. Mine was Mr. Jarvis, 5th grade.
Oh.
He was a history teacher.
Yeah.
I don't remember nothing about his. Well, actually, history is my favorite, so it was easy. But he played an Iron Maiden song for 2 minutes at the beginning of every class. And that was like, I don't know, it made kids want to listen to him.
Yeah, it's like, oh, he's cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Did you have a favorite subject?
I don't think I did have a favorite subject. Math was not easy for me.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't think there was a favorite one.
Okay.
I did what I had to do to graduate. Yep.
Did you have a normal end of school experience like prom, sports? Did you participate in all those ways?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And my kids don't get it because when they got dual enrolled and they were barely at the high school their last year or two, I'm like, you're missing out on so much.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, what could it be? And it just like all of that, homecoming, the dances, we had Project Safe graduation. We were one of the first classes to have Project Safe. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Please enlighten us.
Yeah. So most schools do it. And it actually came about, I think it was a family whose child died on graduation night because they were out partying,
Okay.
And living it up
Yeah.
and got in a car accident. And so they created this idea of let's lock kids together in a place that's fun.
Yeah.
And for us, we rented Parkside
Cool.
because it has the pool and it has the basketball
Yeah.
courts, and we had a theme, and every school may or may not do a theme nowadays, but it has persevered for 35 years.
Wow.
Project Safe, and East Jackson does it too. And
Cool.
we used to rent the Y, just lock them in the Y all night. You could do whatever you wanted in the Y, and
Yeah.
we made contests and prizes, and kids went home with things. And
That's cool.
yeah, and so then you know that on this day that they are celebrating that they are safe and they're having a blast together, and it's the last hoorah.
That is cool.
That's sick.
I didn't think
Yeah.
that they did like lock-ins anymore.
Oh, yeah,
Like
yeah.
I remember like
Yeah.
we used to do lock-ins,
Yeah.
and that was so cool. And every
Yeah.
classroom was like a station.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool.
yeah. So I did all the things with
Awesome.
graduation, prom with. I went with my girlfriends. I don't know if that's still a thing or not, but we went with our girlfriends and we did all the things.
Did you run track? You seem like you ran track. No.
Did you see me in the Grass Lake Parade? Is that why you're?
I begged you for track or basketball.
Yeah.
I was guessing.
I did not do any sports.
Okay.
I was a good academic student, and I was a troublemaker outside of school, and we'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
That's what I did for fun.
My guess is volleyball.
Yeah, sports for me. Yeah, no. Yeah.
Okay.
What was your first job?
Oh, my mom had a Vietnamese restaurant, and probably before you guys were in town,
On South Jackson?
No, that was her friend. But
Okay.
so cool, like the Bell Tower Market, which is now Grand River Brewery.
Okay.
And so, did you know it used to be the city bus station?
I did not.
Okay, so it was a city bus station, and then this developer out of Ann Arbor bought it, and it was then the Bell Tower Market. And in there did you ever shop at Anna's? Do you know what I'm talking about? Anna's gift store? It's where Store Cafe is now.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
cool.
So Anna's opened her first gift. So the bus garage was made into a bunch of little shops.
Okay.
And there was like Anna's Gifts, and there was Bartlett's Better Beef. There was a meat cutter in there.
Cool.
There was a deli, and there was a wine store, and there was G Farms Produce. Have you ever been up to G Farms in Stockbridge?
Yeah, we have. That's flavor fruit, right?
No,
that's Meckley's.
Meckley's is south. G Farms is north.
Okay.
Yep, it's in Stockbridge, and they have the best donuts.
Okay.
And so they did a bakery and a produce, and my mom had her Vietnamese restaurant. And so I worked for her until she fired me.
Okay.
She's fired me multiple times. It's kind of hard to take orders from your mom when you're 14 years old and and you already live with her. So so then I went to the G Farms bakery right next door, and I worked for them. But my first job was my mom's restaurant.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What was her specialty?
She did lots of stir fry and egg rolls. Everyone loves the egg rolls, right? Yeah.
So I do my research, and then I throw my paper out because when I go down the paper, it feels unauthentic.
It feels real.
So I forgot where you went to college. So where did you go after or Northwest?
Yep, that's fine. I went to Northwest, and then I actually went to JC for a couple years.
Okay.
Yep, and then I transferred to Eastern Michigan.
Awesome.
Which is a great social work school.
Yes, they are one of the best in the state.
Yep.
So I went there for my undergrad, and I went there for my graduate degree.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Katie, can you ask questions about that?
Did you get like a master's, bachelor's?
I did get a bachelor's in social work and then a master's.
MSW?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a licensed clinical and macro.
Okay.
Mhm.
I was going to ask macro next.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I've done both.
Okay, cool.
I do both actually still to this day. I don't think you can ever stop doing it.
Yeah.
I actually was vice president of a software company, but everyone said I was their social worker.
Well, it comes from here.
Yeah.
It's like who you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. What was your what was like something that you just had to have for the credits that you just got to take one of something and you just pick something? What was something that you just kind of took for the credits?
Because I'm not an athlete, which we covered. For my gym credits, ready for this?
Yep.
I took trap and skeet shooting.
No.
That's awesome. And they asked me to join the team because I was such a good shot.
That's awesome.
Yes. Yeah.
That's very cool.
I know. I loved it.
That's like probably one of the most satisfying things is watching somebody do it.
They're like, ready, bolt. Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I loved it.
Now my question with that is, do you have to clean up your own stuff, or do they have somebody come out and like they clean it up?
We actually learned to pack our own shells. And then we did clean up our shells.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So Eastern is up Ypsi way. Did you commute every day?
I did commute. I've never left this district.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Sorry, I used the word district and we haven't gotten into politics yet. I have never left this community. Like, yeah.
Did you do morning classes or night classes? If you had the choice. In undergrad, I tried to go all day, so I could commute like 2 or 3 days a week and not have to go every day.
Yeah.
So, and I remember like I'd have some morning classes and I would go to the movies in the afternoon because I had such a big gap, and then I'd go back for my night class.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So you get out of college, you become a social worker.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What was the first job that you had?
Mm-hmm. I felt like I landed my dream job.
Awesome.
I was what was called a Families First therapist at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Are you familiar with Families
Like
First?
is it kind of like Highfields?
Kinda. Highfields does some in-home programs.
Mm-hmm.
So it was for Catholic Charities
Cool.
of Washtenaw County, but they had an office here in Jackson.
Gotcha.
And Families First is a program that goes in-home to work with families who are at risk of losing their children to abuse and neglect. So CPS is working with them, or foster care, some sort of child welfare agency. And they're saying to them, we're concerned for your children's safety, but we feel like you have strengths and you just need to be connected to the right resources or learn the right parenting and discipline techniques. We feel like if we can help you with those things, we can keep you with your kids safely. So they would call us and we would come, and we had to do a little bit of work to make sure people believed that we weren't CPS, because that's a scary thing to have a child welfare worker sitting in your house saying, I'm about to take your kids. And then this other person shows up and you're like, do I trust them, or are they on their team, or are they on my team? And so we had to learn to really focus on their strengths, build rapport, build trust so we could get to work. And that we worked 10 hours a week. We were in people's homes 10 hours a week. Can you imagine? You come home from work every day and here I am for 2 hours. Yeah, it's a lot. It's very intense.
I can imagine.
Yeah, and so, but it just depended. Every referral was different, so everybody's family needs were different, but I really got very familiar with all of the services in Jackson and making sure, because there could be substance use, there could be domestic violence, there could be parenting. Go ahead.
Were you like did they end up, so like say they had like a treatment plan for somebody in the house, were you like actively working with like their IPOS and like things like that?
If they had that, we would definitely, like if they already had a therapist or they were in substance use disorder treatment.
Yes.
Wherever they were at, like, just depending on, do they need help with, prevention or managing triggers or whatever it might be, like, we want them to be successful. We want them to keep their kids. And most often they were able to keep their kids.
So you're like an integrated part into the treatment team.
Yes.
In some scenarios.
Yes, if they had that.
Right.
And some people didn't have any services, And sometimes, it was failure to thrive. Like, my baby's not growing and they're worried, like, what's going on? And we would come in and we would figure out, like, here's what your strengths are. Here's where we need to improve. And this is what we're going to work on. And we were able, one of the nice things about that program too, is we had something called flexible dollars we could use. So on average, it was $300 a family. And we're talking like, this is in 92. So it's a nice bit of money. Like, maybe we buy a car seat. Maybe they are behind on their electric bill. We can't use flexible dollars for electric bills, but why don't you pay your electric bill and I'll buy your groceries? Because I can buy groceries. Like just getting really resourceful with everything, every tool we had in our bag to help them be successful and keep their kids at home. That was my first job. And I felt like it was my dream job. Like this is why I went to school. This is social work at its core. So
how did you navigate in your early first job, dream job, navigate secondary trauma and burnout?
Secondary trauma and burnout. I was young. I did not have my own kids, and I often came home, and we just had a little house, and our house payment was probably sometimes less than what people were paying for rent in an area that was questionable, or a house that was, didn't have windows that closed. I always felt grateful, and I didn't experience. You know what it was? I told my husband, I can't watch that Flippin' Cops show.
Yeah.
Like he watched that, and I'm like, this is my work. I can't. I didn't really have trauma and burnout in the early stages, or I don't think I really ever have, to be honest.
Or like maybe you worked really hard with somebody and just didn't. Oh. And the caregiver burnout, but it wouldn't be caregiver because you're not a caregiver. Like you were working like the empathetic burnout, where like you just felt so strongly about it. And,
I would say there were families that had gone through so much that it stayed with me for a while. So really good supportive team, a great supervisor helping us navigate our feelings and intervening if she needed to. I'll take care of the next visit, or you need to go in this direction and stay away from that direction.
Right,
so really good team and supervision.
Boundaries and limits.
Yes,
and
exactly.
Things like that.
Yeah.
We've met a lot of people in politics, and very few of them come from a heart of service. So did that put you into the political world, or do you just so happen to do both?
No, I think that is exactly true. I didn't know that this is where my path was going to take me necessarily. But now that I'm here, I see clearly that my history has brought me to this day. Yeah. And when I was doing that Families First work, I was very engaged with the Child and Parent Center, which still is, it's the Council for the Prevention of Child Abuse and Neglect. And it's two organizations, one roof. And one of the directors there was a very good friend of mine. I was actually serving on the board. And so I was writing my essay to get into graduate school. And in my essay, it was, I decided, I don't know why, but I'm like, I'm going to just map out my future, 5, 10, 15, 20-year goals. And in there was the idea that I am going to be a public servant someday. And that might have come from my husband's father was a 26-year county commissioner. So watching him do his work and, the committees that he was on, it was more kitchen table talk. I wasn't like with him in the office or anything, but kitchen table talk, what's going on? What are people worried about? How do we solve problems? And so I think that's how it made its way into my essay to get into Eastern. And then I thought, 13 years ago that I checked that box when I joined the East Jackson School Board. But then this opportunity presented itself and I'm like, well, maybe my work is not yet done. And I do really believe all of the things that I've learned in the last 32 years of working has brought me to this day and taught me that there is more work to be done and I can be the person to do it. So, yeah.
What is, geez, I don't want to, I know there's a lot of gaps in there. When did you meet your husband and when did you have your kid?
Yeah. We met in 1990.
Okay.
So we met in a factory. I was a factory worker.
Okay.
Yeah, I ran the tool crib at Kent Moore, and he did a lot of jobs there. The welding is the one that stands out to me the most. And so he probably would hate that I tell this part. So one of my jobs, before I was the tool crib attendant, I ran all the blueprints for all the departments and during the day. And then I'd have to take them and deliver them to all the departments on the factory floor. And every time I got past his department, he was walking behind me. Yeah. And I'm like, why is this dude following me every day? Yeah. And so then he finally worked up like, let's go to lunch.
Yeah.
And we met there.
Geez, so been together 25 years, 26 years?
No, 30 oh gosh, let's do the math. Oh, we were married in 92.
Okay.
We were married in 92. We met in 90. Yeah.
A little over 33 years?
30.
Because I'm 95, I just turned 31.
Okay.
Long.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you're right.
Awesome.
Yes. So I think we're heading into our 35th wedding anniversary
Well,
soon.
congrats.
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
How old's your kid now? Sorry.
Yeah, I have 2 boys.
Awesome.
And so I had my first son when I was 29, and I highly recommend being a couple and being free and doing everything and learning everything before having kids. So, we were together almost 10 years before we had Lucas.
Gotcha.
And Lucas is 25.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then we had Ben, and he is 22.
Cool.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Oh, so you got married pretty young then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was thinking I celebrated my 21st birthday with Terry, and then we got married in 92. Yep.
Dude, congrats.
Yeah,
That's
thanks.
awesome. That's
Yeah, thank you.
awesome.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It is a lot of work, yes.
What job are you at now? Like social work wise?
Oh, I actually am a behavioral health therapist, and I'm just down the road at Lefebvre and Associates.
I did not know that.
Yeah. I actually was working at the Michigan Federation for Children and Families.
Okay.
When I decided to, and I also I wanted to stay connected to therapy.
Mhm.
So I was only seeing 2 or 3 clients a week. And when I decided to run, I had to quit the Federation job
Okay.
because it is a non-partisan advocacy organization.
Mhm.
And in fact, I actually was working with my now opponent in this race because she chairs the Family and Veterans Committee for the House of Representatives. And a lot of the legislation that our members at the Federation cared about or wanted to present went through that committee because all of our members were child and family service agencies. So they're working, with the whole span of birth to hospice, but serving people in that way. And a lot of that policy would go through Family and Veterans in the House. Yeah.
So you're a behavioral health therapist.
Yeah.
Do you have a specific type of therapy that you specialize in?
I do CBT,
Okay.
cognitive behavioral therapy. Yeah.
Yep.
So talk therapy. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your favorite part about being a therapist?
When people feel really happy and feel like they're done with me.
Awesome.
Yeah. Like they get to thank you so much. And they resolve the conflicts within whatever trauma or whatever they're battling. And it's when they feel better and move on. Yeah.
Awesome. So before we get into the politics or where you're at now,
Yeah.
is there anything from your journey that because I skipped over a bunch. I know I did.
Yeah.
I can't fit it all into
It's the spicy.
I'm an old lady. Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, well, it's like, let's be real. It could take 10 hours
Yeah.
to get anybody's life story.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
But is there anything from up until, like what you're doing now, is there anything that when I invited you on, you're like, I wanted to talk about this? Is there anything you want to
Not necessarily. I will say, though, for every job that I've had, I think it's important for people to find their mission and values match, and that will give you longevity and purpose in your job, whatever it is. And I have loved every job that I've ever had.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
Besides the one you have now,
Yes.
was there a favorite job before this?
Probably the Jackson Community Foundation.
Cool.
Chief Operating Officer. I started out as program officer and was elevated to Chief Operating Officer by the time that I left. But being able, are you familiar with that? The foundation?
No, I am not.
Oh, you might want to have Monica Mosher on. She's the current CEO. But
I would love to.
Yeah.
I can.
yeah, it's one of the biggest grant making organizations in our community.
Okay.
And a lot of people are familiar with United Way.
Yep.
And when we were out together, the foundation and the United Way, we would say that United Way raises their money. They're like a checkbook.
Yep.
They raise it and they spend it all that year. The foundation works to raise and create endowments that can be invested, so big savings accounts.
Yeah.
And then when they're invested, they only spend a part of the interest that is
I
earned
see.
on that.
Yep.
And so they're able to give back, but they're able to give for a lifetime, because the idea is if you have an endowment, it's protected. You can't break into the principle of it. And when you only spend a little, it's growing more. You're spending, it's growing. It keeps growing as you spend. And so you're able to, you just can count on grants for a lifetime.
So it's like like an IRA or a hedge fund. or?
Yeah, there's an investment committee and they manage all the investments to ensure that we're growing safely. We want
Right.
it to be in a safe
And a
investment.
non-risk
Yes,
environment.
yeah, but always growing, and then we save a little bit on the growth and we spend a little bit of the growth. And then they have areas like, so this is why it was my favorite. You're able to meet so many people doing amazing things in our community. I remember when the Martin Luther King Center was an idea of John Willis's, and we were able to give grants to get that going. So community organizations doing good work, environmental, education, arts and culture, human services, all like learning every part of the goodness of Jackson. That was why it was my favorite.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
So where we're at now, what are you running for specifically? If you could tell the viewers.
Yes, so I am running to be the state representative for House District 46. And that is on the very western border, Sandstone Road. And it kind of goes through Jackson. It's the city of Jackson and all the way to the city of Chelsea. And it grabs Blackman Township and Leone Township, a little bit of Summit, a little bit of Grass Lake, and a little bit of Sylvan. And so it's about 91,000 citizens in that area. Yeah.
I didn't realize. I think are you running as a Democrat or Republican or nonpartisan?
I am Democrat.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I think we interviewed the other side.
Kathy Schmaltz?
No, he's 47. He's
Oh, he's 47.
Oh.
Okay, Justin Griffiths.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, yeah.
okay. Yeah.
But we say nonpartisan anyway.
Yeah.
It's just always
Yeah,
cool to
yeah,
see
yeah.
both
Yeah,
sides.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
always cool to me.
No, yeah, it's good. That is what makes the world go around. There's different perspectives, different opinions, and at the end of the day, we have to respect them all. So, yeah. Yeah.
No, I didn't realize you were running against. That's irrelevant. I'm so happy to
Yeah.
have you on.
Thank you. Yeah.
So, what was how did you hear about that? There's an election, and then what made you decide to say, "Hey, I'm going to apply for it or go for
To
it"?
actively pursue.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
This is so 5 years ago, there was redistricting in Michigan.
Okay.
And this territory has been reshaped. And they really made it so that it's more of a 50-50 district.
Okay.
And before it seemed more red than blue.
Okay.
And it was really hard to win.
Let me just interject real quick. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think I say it backwards. What is red and what is blue?
Oh yeah, red is Republican, blue. So, thank you for clarifying.
So I do say it
Yeah.
backwards. Oh my God. So I've been saying it backwards this whole time.
She didn't even know.
Yeah. You probably
See,
gave up on
but that's
that.
important. Like when I say something that someone might understand, I appreciate you asking so everybody's on the same page. Yeah.
Thank you.
So I'm running as a Democrat, and it was a district that has not been Democrat in a very, very long time.
Gotcha.
But it's never been closer to being 50-50 and winnable. And so that's a factor that played into the decision. And people started talking to me and saying, like, you should do this. You could win this. Your experience has brought you to this. And I actually, I have a good friend. His name is Buzz Davidson, and he's been saying for years, he's like, Jan, you need to be a state rep. I'm like, oh my God, how do you even do that?
Yeah.
I don't even know how to begin to do that.
Seriously, yeah.
Yeah. That sounds like a lot of work, and I don't even know where to begin. So, as people started suggesting that this is something that I could win, and it came from being a public figure, a public servant, really my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really want to call myself a politician. I am a public servant. I've served on nonprofit boards. I've worked for nonprofits. I am the president of the school board. I am serving the public.
Yeah.
Because I do think politician, it comes with concepts that people have. So
Sticky fingers,
yeah,
this or that.
yeah.
It
And
does.
so as the conversations ensued, I actually had other state reps calling and saying, we heard you might be interested,
Awesome.
and here's what it's like, and here's why we think you can win, and here's how we will help you. And so when I entertained the conversation, the very first bit of advice I got was, you're going to need your husband on board because this is going to affect your family.
Yeah.
And the right people started having conversations with Terry, and he's like, oh my God, my dad was a commissioner for 26 years and it was like so much stress in our house and I'm not sure. But at the end of the day, he knows I have more to give back. And he knows how hard of a worker I am, and he knows how much I care, and he believes in this community as much as I do. And he he's never been more supportive of me pursuing something in my life. Yeah. So yeah, I could go on, but does that?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
and that's why we support
Yeah.
the way we support. Like, we're nonpartisan, but we went to walk with Aiden.
Yeah.
Up in,
I know you guys bring so much energy to the table.
But I say all that, I guess, to say we are passionate to help anybody who is that passionate in what they believe. So it's like we've sat at protests that I did not agree with what we were protesting.
And I've sat at protests that I also did not agree with.
But these people are so passionate that we're out here in 100-degree weather protesting. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Like, you are that passionate, I'm that passionate now.
Yeah.
So that being said, you're just passionate about it. Anything we can do to help you, we'd love to.
Yeah,
I mean,
thank
seriously,
you.
like
Thank
you can feel the passion.
Yeah.
You can just feel it.
Yeah, thank you so much. I will keep that in mind.
Please.
I don't like that. It's like when you vote for somebody, people think that they're like choosing their beliefs.
Yeah.
Like it's the person.
Yeah.
Like
That's
why
Yeah.
I feel like it's like you need to know the person because if you know the type of person they are, they're gonna do either the right thing or they're gonna do the wrong thing.
Yeah.
So I think that's what's most important is like knowing people and getting. I don't want to shaking hands and kissing babies. Like getting out there.
Yeah. I actually had a fundraiser last night. You guys would have had a blast at it, by the way. Was at the honky tonk downtown.
Oh, nice.
Line dancing.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything I do, like someone came up to me. I never met them before. They came from Chelsea, and they said this was really fun. I'm like, my events will not be like any other events I've been to politically. I'm bringing fun to this because I am having a blast. Yeah. Truly, I'm having a blast. I'm very energized by all of it. And the knocking on the doors surprised me. Like, I love it. I love it. Do I have time for a story?
Yes,
yeah.
Please,
okay.
Please.
So, it was a couple weeks ago. I was in a neighborhood in Blackman Township. So, geographically, depending on where I'm at, my opening picture transition statement, like you have, is different. And so I'm in Blackman, and I start with, I knock on the door, and a woman answers, and I start to say, my name is Jan Maino. I'm running for state rep for, this district, and I just want to introduce myself and tell you a little bit more about me. And she's like, okay. And so I go in, we're in Blackman Township. I actually was raised here, started kindergarten here, graduated from Northwest. And then I hear in the background someone saying, hey, who's out there? What's going on? And she says, this woman's running for state rep. And he said, tell her to come in. I felt completely safe.
Awesome.
All my social work skills told me it was going to be okay. And so she welcomes me, and there's a chair, and she's like, good, you talk to him. I'm going to make his chicken salad, and we can both hear you. And so I go through my campaign priorities, which I don't know if we have time for all of them.
So I was actually going to end up asking about it. So if you want to
so
share.
Just weave it into the story?
Yes, please.
Perfect. So I actually start over with him, like who I am, why I'm running, or why I'm in this district, and life for this community. Met my husband at Michigan Center. He went to Lumen, and we raised our kids at East Jackson. And I'm the current school board president, and I've been on the board for 13 years. And I said, I care very much about public education. I care that when kids graduate, that they have the skills and tools that they need to do whatever they want to do. If they want to go right to work, if they want to go into skilled trade, a certificate, or college. And we have some work to do. We have to fully fund public education. We have to equitably pay teachers so they want to do this job and put the resources in the classroom. And I think that, I have some ideas about how we can approach that and improve what we're doing. And then I said, when those kids graduate, I want them to want to live here. I want my boys to want to live here. And kids have not been leaving this community more than they have lately. And for 50 years, our population has gone down. Mm-hmm. And now more than ever, we have senior citizens, more senior citizens than we have young adults and children and young, families in this community. And it's because we don't have affordable housing and jobs. And so I have ideas about that too. And then I say I'm a mental health therapist. And I'm kind of doing the fast version. But I'm a mental health therapist, and I care very much that people get the care that they need when they need it. They have access to it, and it's affordable. Mm-hmm. And I say I believe that if we don't take care of people's mental health, it becomes other problems. It becomes homelessness. It becomes substance use disorder. It becomes crime and so many other things, very expensive problems to have if we could just take care of people's mental health. And I see every day people turned away when they have Medicaid. A lot of practices, including the one that I work at, does not take Medicaid. And I know for a fact that Medicaid, because I had to close 7 clinics a year ago, including one here in Jackson, Medicaid does not pay a rate that pays the bills. They reimburse at about $68 an hour on average. And I could not get expenses lower. I used to run 7 clinics. I could not get expenses under $140 an hour. And when you are not federally subsidized, you don't have access to the same resources. And so there are agencies in our community, and they're primarily taking Medicaid because they are federally, I'm not going to use all the acronyms, I'm trying hard not to, but they're receiving federal subsidies because they are partnering in ways that little small practices cannot.
Gotcha.
So I think people turn away all the time, and they should have access to choice and to be able to get the care that they need. And so this gentleman is nodding, and then he asked me more about education. He's very concerned about education, and I talk about what is happening in Mississippi right now. So in 2013, or about 13 years ago, Mississippi was almost dead last in our country in literacy scores.
Oh.
And they decided that they needed to fix that, and they went all in on literacy. I don't know all of the things that they're doing, but they did adopt some evidence-based practices. They did put that curriculum and the resources in the classroom for the teacher, including literacy coaches. And those coaches can empower the teacher. They are experts in literacy. And so when the teacher gives misinformation, they just kind of wander up to the front of the classroom and they whisper in their ear, actually, you need to say this, this, and this. And in real time, the teacher is correcting their lesson. The students are getting the right information. The teacher is learning in real time. And they have gone from almost dead last to 13th in the nation in literacy scores. And then when you factor in poverty, and there's a high rate of poverty in many communities in Mississippi, they jump to 3 in the nation. And so people are already doing it. Yeah. And we are not doing well in literacy scores and math scores. And so we should learn from other states and put those practices in place. And so he's asking me questions about it. He had a few questions in there. I kind of just told all the answers I gave to his questions. Gotcha. And then at the end of canvassing, I say, are you registered voter? And he says, yes, we are registered voters. And I said, are you planning to vote in August and November? He's like, I vote in every election. Awesome. And I said, I would love to earn your vote in August and November. And he said, well, did you know we're Republican? And I said, I didn't know that. And he said, and I already know who I'm voting for. And I said, you do? And he said, I do. And I said, would you mind sharing it with me? Yeah. And he said, yeah, I'm voting for you. You listened. Awesome. You walked into my house. You sat down. You listened. And you answered my questions. You're intelligent. And everything that you've said about your life tells me that you can do this job. And I'm voting for you. Awesome. Yeah, love it. So, and that happens all the time. Dude. I love it.
This is your hour, so honestly, or more. So never feel rushed, please.
Okay.
Never. And honestly, if it goes 2, I don't care.
I need to eat dinner, sir.
Same. One thing you said just there, I don't remember exactly what you just stated, but it showed me in real time. Russ Jennings, the Republican chair, agrees with one of your points you just made. Like that is one of his points, and that's what I love about what we do, though, is we see sometimes that it's like. It's the same thing, and I just don't know why we can't. I'm not saying you guys, but
I understand.
The popular.
I understand.
He agrees, you agree, and then yet somehow we're still not meeting in the middle. It's sometimes it's average.
What I love about the rooms that we end up in doing this, right? Beforehand, I would get into a conversation, trying to not have a debate, not trying to force my opinions on people, but just having a conversation, and they'd be like, "Well, you're wrong because da 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 da." Yeah. We just met somebody the other day, and I said something because they were talking about the unhoused individuals downtown. Mm-hmm. And I said something, and he looks at me and he goes, I don't know enough about that to have an opinion on it. And I was like, I wish more people did what you just did there. Yep. Like that, so much respect. Yeah. So I just wish that there was more of that.
Yep. I had a conversation like that recently too. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They're like, I think I need to do more research. And that's one of the things that I feel like I am known for at East Jackson. And one of the reasons that I think people approached me to run for state rep is I always do my homework. If there's going to be something on our agenda that requires a vote and I don't really know exactly the ins and outs or how it's going to impact people, I am talking to students. I am talking to teachers. I am talking to administrators. I am friends with school board members all over the county in different schools. I call them up. What are you guys doing with this? How did you do it? What was good? What was bad?
Yeah.
And then I go back and I ask the hard questions if I have to, and then I vote and I make the vote with an educated decision. So, yeah.
So besides your social worker, public servant, the list goes on. Why are people going to vote for Jan Maino?
I believe in this community, and I believe that there's hope and that we can be thriving again. And I can do the work. I believe people want someone just like that man that I talked about, that couple, like someone's going to sit down and listen and bring the right people to the table and have solutions. And I didn't even talk about my bringing the right people to the table story, but I've done it. I've done it at the Community Foundation. When you have the ability to bring all the different stakeholders, you are so powerful together.
Mm-hmm.
The solution is strong and the resources are strong. And I have done that my whole life. And I can't wait to do it in Lansing. I can't wait. So, yeah.
It's funny. So my mentor now, Rick, brought up something, and by no malice, and he wasn't even speaking of you. He's just talking people in politics in general. During this election, everybody's kissing hands and shaking baby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shaking hands and kissing baby. So everybody's so everybody's out there, canvassing, shaking hands, like everybody's out there. Is it going to change when you get elected, or will you still be out there trying to get community involved?
Yeah, I hope not. I think that's actually we have a legislature that it's a full-time job.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so you are supposed to be available and in Lansing in session and committee Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Okay.
The other 4 days of the week, you should be in your community,
Yeah.
talking and meeting and learning and understanding. And I never want to stray from the person that I am with my ethics and my integrity. And I've already asked my friends, if you see me not being me, you need to call me out on it immediately, because I won't be able to sleep at night if I don't believe that people like you are the experts of your own life and your own situation. I'm not that expert.
Yep.
And I'm not going to make decisions until I do my homework. And that is what energizes me, talking to people. My kids feel like I'm nosy. Like, why do you ask so many questions? I'm like, I'm just curious. I just want to know why people are doing what they're doing, or their beliefs, or I don't know everything. And so the only way to do that is to be out in the community. Now, I laughed about when you said, was I in track?
Yeah.
I'm so terrible. I was at the parade, and I kept stopping and talking, and my group was so far ahead. At one point, I'm just like running down the street, like, I'm so sorry, I can't stop and talk. I've got to catch up to my car. So, yeah.
That is why people will vote for you, because that is a fear, and we're not going to see people that are running after they get elected.
What's the point if I'm not with the people?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
So, what's something about you that people don't know that you wish they did?
Oh my gosh. Am I allowed to make a joke?
Yeah.
There's an attack ad out on me right now, and it's blaming me for the high price of gas and groceries. And I wish that those people that called me in the middle of the night to tell me about my policies knew that that was all lies. So, I am a school board president. I do not create wars that cause the increase in gas. But so it's probably not what you wanted from me, but that's what came to mind.
So before we ask our wrap-up questions, two questions that we didn't ask throughout the episode like we normally do. If you could go back in time to one day, just to observe, cannot change anything, what day would it be and why?
Just to observe, and I cannot change anything. Can I observe from any angle?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess it's going to be the night that President Obama won the election, and being backstage with that and just seeing that. Oh my God. I can still picture the energy in Millennium Park when he walked out on stage. Awesome. Yeah.
That is the first, I like that.
Yeah.
And then to piggyback off that,
yeah.
you could have dinner with anybody in history, who would it be?
And what are you eating for dinner?
Dinner with anybody in history. Abraham Lincoln.
Awesome.
I feel like, I know he was like Republican, but he had so many great ideas, and
That's been a
and
big
it
one.
was. Is it? It's
Yeah.
like, but I think the parties have sort of evolved into something different.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
For sure.
yeah.
And then what are you eating?
Yeah.
What are you ordering?
That's my favorite.
Yeah. What's your order?
I mean, I'm with Abe. We're gonna have a steak and potato dinner with apple pie. So yeah. So
Okay.
yeah.
I guess one more question before the wrap-up question. Normal people watching this, normal people that will end up watching this, what is the responsibility of a state representative?
Oh, we're to represent the community, and the only way to do that again is to know what's going on here and to understand the resources and the deficits. And you always have to have hope and see the opportunity that exists and be able to bring people to the table with the ideas to create those, make those opportunities come to fruition. And so then we take that and we advocate in the legislature. So there's
Okay.
110 districts in Michigan.
Okay.
So 110 state representatives. And people, you know, one of the things that I really enjoy is that you've got a group, I actually don't know how many people are on every committee, but let's just say there's at least a dozen people
Okay,
sitting around. And people are going to be bringing legislation, and they're going to say this is important and this is why. And there's not a chance that everyone at that table is going to know the ins and outs of that. So you get to bring people to testify. And they can explain why this is important or why this needs to change because here's the detrimental effects. And you can work to advocate for people, the policies, change things. Yeah.
We just had
Okay.
Paris Hilton come and talk about the transporting of youth on that, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
No,
came to Lansing.
I
Oh,
super
cool.
love that. So
Yeah.
so problems arise. All
Yeah.
you guys meet,
Yeah.
you know, in the and
Yeah.
to decide
Everybody's
how
on
to fix
different
it.
committees.
Okay.
So, you know, when you win, you get assigned committees. And
Okay.
you may be an expert in that subject and you may need to learn a lot.
Gotcha.
You know, like if tourism or agriculture or commerce or,
Yeah.
you know, obviously I would love to be on the Family and Veterans Committee.
That
That's
makes sense.
what I've worked on my whole
That
life.
makes
So,
sense.
yeah,
Do
yeah.
they ever? I don't know how it works. Do they ever like, man, she's really talented in this? Maybe put you in that, or is that not how that works?
It depends on who's in charge.
Gotcha.
They may want you to suffer or they may want
As
to
in
put
like
you.
governor, who's in
No,
charge?
the leader, the Speaker of the House is in charge of
Okay.
putting you on committees. And so, you know,
Is the Speaker of the House a Republican right
today,
now?
mhm,
Okay.
Today.
Now I see why. you
Today.
said that.
Yes,
Understood.
today they are.
Understood.
Yep, today they are.
I'm gonna pull one of your old questions that have no relevance.
Yeah, so
If
good.
you had to be eaten alive by
Oh,
one
yeah, I
animal,
like that.
I can't.
what animal would it be?
I can't. I already hurt thinking about that. I can't.
I'll give you mine.
Well,
I said a whale.
So
Oh,
just one
Like,
bite.
yes.
Swallow,
Yeah.
and then I have the chance of like,
Yeah.
oh, it's a mammal in water, they're breathing. I could like climb
can
over
climb out.
the
Yeah,
or something.
I didn't realize I could survive. But I would want it to be whatever can kill me immediately so I don't know the rest of it.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
This has been great. Jen.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Our wrap-up questions. And this
Oh.
is how we make everybody. It's kind of.
Consistent.
Well, now I'm making a joke out of it. Now everybody is kind of related and they don't even know it. Everybody has answered these set of questions. So
Okay,
now-
but I don't know what they are.
Nope.
I promise you, I didn't watch to the end of an
I'm
episode.
stealing yours.
No.
Okay.
So first and foremost, is there anything I did not ask that I should have? Is there anything I missed? Is there anything you want to share? Now is the time.
No, I don't think so.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That means we did our
Yeah,
job.
yeah,
right? So that's
yeah.
good. So mine is simple. What is your definition of success?
Oh, my own personal definition is like, you have to know what your goals are and then achieving them. Like, if you don't have a clear idea of what you want out of life, you're going to be in pursuit of it your whole life.
Hamster wheel.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Yeah.
I like it.
And mine is just, like I said in the beginning, is to just leave every encounter better than how I arrived. So making a difference.
See, and this is why we asked that.
Yeah.
The guest yesterday said, so it's almost like the second part, leaving the situation better.
Yeah.
He said, as long as somebody smiles when they hear my name. I
Oh.
said, well, shoot,
Yeah.
that's great. You
Yeah,
know,
that's a
and that
legacy.
lines up just with
Yeah,
yours.
That's what the
Yeah,
next
that's what-
question is,
yeah.
is what is legacy?
Oh, yeah, legacy. like, it's just being remembered for doing something good and living a life where you can say without a doubt, whenever someone needed a hand, you turned around and gave it to them.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't asked this yet. This
Yeah.
is a new one. Have you ever thought that you will go down in a history book when you win state representative? Like you will be in a book somewhere for the rest of America. Has that ever crossed your mind? Like that
No.
you're going to be in history? No.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. I don't know. It's in my mind.
Yeah.
I'm going to interview like a state rep or a mayor, or
I'm
like,
going to have a Wikipedia.
yeah, I'm like,
You might already have.
I don't even know.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
I am not in this for any kind of power or
It
prestige.
shows.
Yeah.
That's
No.
awesome.
If
Yeah.
you now met younger you,
Oh,
would
Lord.
you get along with her and vice versa? Would she get along with you?
Yeah, we have always been a fun seeker, her and I. And sometimes we've made bad choices, and as long as we learn from them, and I still am that person. And also actually, I think more than ever, if I realize if I've said something offensive or done something, I have run staff meetings, and if I feel like something I said might have offended a team person, and before that meeting's over, I'm apologizing in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Like, I might not have been as quick then as I am now if I've done something wrong, I want to fix it immediately.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
I call it eating crow warm. I
Yes,
eat my crow
yeah,
warm.
absolutely.
Yep.
I just, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
One word to describe your entire journey from where you started to where you will end up has to be a real word.
From my
Where
journey.
where you started to where you will end up.
Yep.
So your whole journey, even stuff that hasn't happened yet.
One word to describe it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jan,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
So
you.
fun.
Thank you
Yes,
for
thank
Thank
you.
you guys for watching.
Yes, thanks for watching.
And then she will end the lives.